Hello, and welcome back to another Dokkan battle video. I know I've been kind of MIA for a little bit, but I do actually finally have Jiren fully link level 10. So we're going to go ahead and jump into a stage and just see how he does. He only has one link that changes, and it's only in his standby, so he's a pretty easy link level character. Just do keep in mind that he is going to be getting a 7 out of 7 linking partner whenever Tech Jiren decides he wants the easy A. So just keep that in the back of your head, right? That this is not technically Jiren's full power, because he will be able to get a perfect linking partner very, very soon. Alright, so big thing for Jiren. You know what? Just because I want to show it off. Also, 345 with 50% damage reduction, right? By the way, not bad at all. I want to show it off. I want to just put Jiren just right in the front. Right, that way we can kind of see what he does. Now, usually you're not really supposed to do that, and optimally, if I was gonna go for the win, I would just put MUI in the front, or Evolution Blue Vegeta in the front, right, and get all their stuff. 13 million, pretty damn good. Jiren just comes out and he just is strong, right? Additional normal, that's unfortunate. But, realistically, you want to just slap Jiren in slot 2 for his first turn, wait until he gets his standby active and ready, and then go from there. So he is one of those characters, right, that is actually blessed by not having a single restriction at all in his entire passive. He's completely unrestricted to any category whatsoever. You can run him on every single one of his categories and he will be on complete full power, right? Which is really, really helpful, especially for categories like the Super Bosses team, Universe Survival Saga, right? He has so many of these wonkier or wackier teams that you can just toss him on and he's going to work completely fine with zero issues, which I do really, really like about him. I think that allows him to be very flexible. Plus the fact that his standby mode is probably the, I think it's probably the better team mechanic, team protector mechanic that you could have right now. And that's him basically just being completely invincible for 2 whole turns. Now, more than likely, you're gonna get his standby ready to diffuse or to transform before he's ready to do that, right? Yeah, we're just gonna put Jiren in slot 1 again. Actually, you know what? I kind of want to get the Jirens next to each other. So let's just do this. Also, this is the new UI Goku phase. I think it's a decent fight for a showcase. Just because it's not overly difficult where it's going to one-shot you, but it actually does do damage, and it's pretty long because this guy's just tanky. It's his whole gimmick is being tanky and stacking up his defense. But I want to get the Jirens next to each other, that way we can see them do super funny stuff, right? Actually, so what I was saying, right, is Jiren's standby. More than likely, when you get to the second turn of his standby, because his standby lasts for 5 turns, right? You're going to get your first initial turn of standby where he's completely invincible. Just toss him wherever you have the most attacks that you need the help in, right? And then you're going to go into your next turn, and then you're going to come back to standby Jiren. More than likely, you're going to be ready to go into full power Jiren, but I genuinely think it is better to just wait that extra turn, because in most of these fights, right, slot 1 is the slot that you're kind of missing the help for. So being able to just be like, no, I don't want to transform just yet. I want to get my very powerful slot 1 character, and I want to be really funny. 17 million, by the way. That's a rainbow Jiren. I don't think it's Truth's Jiren, but it is a rainbow Jiren. Right, so you get the really funny, big, super offensive or super defensive slot 1 character, right, for 2 turns, which we're gonna do here, and then you literally can't lose, right? So we're gonna transform into here. Actually, let me make sure that the animations are on. I have the sound muted because I know in the second phase of this fight it does have copyrighted music. So let's just go ahead, turn this on real quick, and then get into standby Jiren mode. Alright, so now Jiren is literally invincible for the next 2 turns. Right? He starts with, I believe it's 50% damage reduction, and then every single orb he gets gives him another, I believe it's 11%. So he becomes just literally Jesus, right? Even though his actual numbers aren't really high, he has so much damage reduction that there's nothing in the game that can kill him. He has over 100% damage reduction on most turns. So he's just going to sit there and be completely fine. Now, he does have support if you were to put him in slots 2 or 3. But the thing about that is, right, he's so much more valuable to be slapped into slot 1 that additional 70% attack that he gives the entire rotation for 2 turns, right? It's a big buff. but like you don't really need it that much, because more than likely the units that you're bringing on your team are already doing really good damage, so you don't need even more damage. You just want a reliable slot 1 unit. Please dodge this. Thank you. Right? So it's one of those things that I think that Jiren has in his passive that hold him back, in my personal opinion, from being higher up on the tier list. I currently have him at 5, and that's because I still have the U6 LRs on the same slot, right? I have them both still at like probably 2 or 3, between them and Tech UI, and then Cellmax, and then Jiren, right? And it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, if Jiren had a couple different parts of his passive that were just slightly different, I would like him a lot better, right? Jiren already can crit in his full power mode, but then they gave him more crit. They had no reason to give him even more crit, but they did. So there's just one of those like minor things that I'm like, I don't really feel like they needed to do that, but it is what it is. You can't really change anything about it now, right? So yeah, there's a couple things that I would change with Jiren, but what are you gonna do, right? All right, 19 million from Vegeta. Obviously, again, that could have been even higher had we had Jiren in slot 2, by the way, last turn. He would have gotten an additional 70% from Jiren. Now, I will show that off here because I'm going to transform my Jiren into full power and then put the other one into standby. Because one of the best things about Jiren is that his standby condition is really, really easy. It's just his next turn, and then you're able to do that the entire time, pretty much, the entire time of the fight. So I do like it a lot. So let's go ahead, and once we do get... Actually, let me turn the audio back off because they're going to go right into copyrighted music right away. There's a Limit X Survivor playing in here. Yeah. Alright. So, huge things about Jiren. When we go into the standby mode, we're not only going to have a scouter for the rest of this turn, but he's also just going to be incredibly powerful because we have them linked next to each other, right? They're going to be 7 out of 7 links. Rainbow Jiren, my Jiren. We're going to see the craziness. Alright, let's get it. I'll turn the sound on the second this starts playing. All right. Oh, this is actually really good for us because what's going to happen now is I'm going to put this Jiren into standby mode. Actually, I'm going to... We already saw the standby Jiren, right? I don't need to bore you guys with it again. Right. So now we have standby Jiren, who is going to be able to sit there and eat these attacks for literally 0 damage. He has over 100% damage reduction right now, and he's going to get super attacked twice, type disadvantage, and take literally 0 damage. It is going to be fantastic. 36 million out of my 69% Jiren. Right. Now, I do have him with a decent amount of additional, so he could give us an additional super attack here. No, okay, that's fine. But, I mean, 36 million is pretty damn good. Now, what I could have done, right, is slapped my Jiren in that slot 2, and made it so that he would eat both of these to give us that 50% stacking attack that he would get. But, like, I want to show standby Jiren literally being amazing, and that massive 70% offensive support that he gives. Now, when early translations were like done of this, people incorrectly assumed that he was giving 70% defense as well. If he was giving 70% defense, I would easily like him better than Cellmax. But actually, do I like him better than Cellmax? No. No, I don't. I can't make that claim that I like him better than Cellmax. That's just not true. Ow. Thanks, guys. Very cool of you. Oh, wait. Oh. Let me make sure that the video doesn't get copyright striked. Alright. So now we have this. I'm actually gonna do it like this. That way Vegeta's gonna be super juiced at the end there. Because he's not only gonna be... Remember, this entire rotation, right, has the 70% damage buff from Tech Jiren last rotation. Right? Just keep that in mind. this entire rotation is being buffed by Tech Jiren as well as the domain, except for these guys. These guys don't get the domain buff, but they do get the Tech Jiren support, or the AGL Jiren support. Right. So every single super attack these guys do, and every single super attack everybody else does, is going to get that massive 70% attack, which is just really helpful. But, like, I don't find myself actively going out of my way to get it, is the thing. So it's not something that I think is reliable, that you can be like, yeah, Jiren constantly has a 70% support up. It's like, no, not really. More than likely, he's in slot 1, just being able to tank all the normals. So it's not really something that you can give Jiren as, like, this happens all the time, but it's more something that, like, it's a thing that Jiren has in his pocket that if you're able to get that active, it's really nice. And then next turn, I'm going to slap Standby Jiren in slot 1 to show that, yeah, this is optimal, right? And then slap my Jiren in slot 2, and then just see the kind of difference in damage that that makes. Granted, I could, right, slap... I could transform one of the Jirens as well, but I don't think I really need to. Also, we're probably just going to kill. Right. But I think we got a pretty decent look at our boy Jiren here, right? Obviously, you can see the ridiculous amount of damage that this rotation is doing, and it's all thanks, in part, to Jiren. You're going to see Vegeta, he's not going to have his addition, I believe it's like 70% attack and defense if you're above a certain amount of HP. He's not going to have that active, but he is going to get the buff from MUI Goku. Yeah. That's Jiren buff plus MUI Goku's support, super attack support for big Vegeta there. It was like 38 million. I'm just saying, this team just works so goddamn well together. You're able to do such ridiculous stuff in part to Jiren. I've also seen one thing that you could definitely do, especially if you get Jiren but you don't have Tech UI. If you're gonna run Universe Survival Saga like purely, bringing Tech UI as a friend lead only might be the better move, just because he's unable to be to start the fight in slot 7. That way you're going to actually be able to transform into MUI as soon as possible. But just also keep in mind that Tech Jiren is going to be EZAing any day now, and he's going to be a 7/7 link partner. So when we do our showcase for Tech Jiren, we're going to see just the absolutely ridiculous 7/7 links between the two Jirens, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Anyway, that's going to be it for this. Let me know how you guys feel about Jiren. I think he is easily probably one of the best characters in the entire game. Again, I think I currently have him at number 5 overall in the game. That's just my personal opinion. But if you guys have any other opinions and if you feel like he's better, like I've seen people say he's up like 3, and I think that's probably a bit too high. But do let me know how you guys feel about Jiren in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.